Saturday in Simpsonville, South Carolina. I'm going to ask you to do something a little different today on the video. I'm going to ask you some questions. Then I want you to stop the video just for a minute. And I want you to think about the questions that I asked you. I want you to be honest in your answers to the questions. You don't have to write them down, but think them through in your mind. Then I want you to start the video back up. I hope that you'll do that. I think you'll get more out of it that way. What have you watched on TV during the last week? What type of programs? News, entertainment, comedy, whatever it's been. What have you read during this week? What kind of conversations have you been involved in with friends, family, at work? What kind of conversations have you been involved in with friends, family, and work? What have you been thinking about this week? When nobody else was around, or even when they were around, what was running through your mind? You may never have said it to anybody. You may not have admitted it to anybody. But what were you thinking this week in those idle moments? Maybe just before you went to bed. Maybe during the daytime at lunch. What were you thinking about? Okay, stop the video for a minute. Get honest. List down the things that you watched on TV. You don't have to write them down, but put them through your mind. What kind of conversations did you have? What kind of materials did you read? What kind of things did you think about? Stop the video. Then come back in just a minute. Okay, I trusted that you stopped the video and that you took a few minutes to think about the answers to those questions. Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as he thinks within himself, so is he." You see, our minds are like a computer. We program it. Sometimes very intentionally we study things and we try to memorize things. Sometimes good things, sometimes not such good things. But our minds are like memory banks. And we record things into memory. If you've ever gone to Disney World, we just talked about this today at the church. But if you've ever been to Disney World and you went through It's a Small World, you came out of there humming, thinking, it's a small world, it's a small world, it's a small world after all. And you probably sang it for a couple of weeks thereafter because it just played constantly the whole time you were in there. Disney was programming your minds. Not a bad thing. But listen to what Romans 8, verses 5 through 8 says. "For those who are according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For the mind set on the flesh is death, but the mind set on the Spirit is life and peace. Because the mind set on the flesh is hostile towards God, for it does not subject itself to the law of God, for it is not even able to do so. And those who are in the flesh cannot please God." How much of what you programmed your mind with this past week was spiritual, things of God, clean, wholesome things? How many things were not? You see, you are programming your mind. Colossians 3:2 says, "Set your mind on things above, not on things of the earth." What about mixed input? Maybe you had a time that you were at church on Wednesday, Sunday morning, Sunday night. Maybe you had a quiet time. But the things you heard at work, or the things that were spoken in the family, or the things that you allowed your mind to dwell on, or perhaps the pop-ups on your internet and the things that you didn't even ask to see, you saw but you thought about. What about mixed input? James 1:8 says, "A double-minded person is unstable in all of his ways." I guess we're all a little unstable, aren't we? Because it's pretty hard to close out the world. Pretty hard for our mind not to get some impressions from this world. Finally, let me close with this. Romans 12:1 and 2. "Therefore I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice, acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service of worship." And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed. Now listen, by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove that the will of God is that which is good and acceptable and perfect. Let's all work hard this coming week to program our minds to spiritual things, to wholesome things, to holy things, to righteous things. And let's try to do all we can to shut out, turn off programs, throw away books, block internet pop-ups. Let's do all we can to remove the things of this world from our mind, to replace them with spiritual things. That's your thought for the day. Hope you'll be in church tomorrow. God bless you and have a great day.